How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I seen this story in Atlanta Black Star that had caught my eye. Um, and what this is the nation's oldest black-owned, female-run construction company. Now, one thing that I do know is that we have to be very careful in how things are titled. And I know this sister meant well. I'm pretty sure that she meant well. But we should just say black owned because it excludes our kings. And this family have a very rich history in the construction industry. So it caught my eye. That is the industry that I worked in for 17 years, and I know the industry very, very well. And so I said, well, let me do some more research and find out more about McKinsey. And so let's see, let's go over to the website itself. And y'all see that I put that thumbnail up because that's to show respect of the actual founder. So Moses McKinsey came to this country as a slave, owned by a prominent contractor who used him as a builder. He passed the trade down through the generations, with his grandsons becoming the first licensed black architects in the southeastern United States. And then Moses III, along with his brother Calvin, launched the first McKinsey firm in Nashville, Tennessee. He was the grandson of Moses McKinsey, a slave who learned the trade of building from his owner, and began a family legacy in the industry. I'm not going to read all this stuff. It will be here for the royal family. So let me see. Let's check. Okay, this is not it. What am I looking for? Well, this just tells more about their legacy, and you can see the pictures of the brothers that ran this industry. And let me put in McKinsey again, and oh, here we go. What we have here, they just showing various pictures of some of their architectural work, some of the buildings that they build, which is quite impressive. I think I went too fast. Yeah, I did go too fast. This was built in 1925. This is in Nashville. Anyhow, I had something that I wanted to read the royal family before I show the video. And let's see, is it here? Let's see what is going on. Oh boy, let me see, let me backtrack here, because it was something I really wanted to read to the royal family, and I think I lost my place. Let's go along here. Let's see here. Okay. William, the youngest son of Moses III, succeeded Calvin, his uncle, as president of the firm, leading with innovative ideals, furthering the family legacy. He led the firm until 1983, when he suffered a stroke and had to retire due to his illness. And then this is where we will jump into the video to enlighten the royal family. But there's just no way that I could exclude our kings, and these things are done again deliberately. So this video is almost 7 minutes, and it has a very rich history.
Construction business is no bed of roses. Cutthroat competition makes it hard to stay on top. But one construction and design firm has been making its mark on some of our biggest landmarks. Cheryl McKissick Daniel now sits atop the oldest African-American owned and female run construction company in the nation, a business her family truly built from the ground up. In the male-dominated world of construction,
everybody's working and giving it their all.
Cheryl McKissick Daniel feels right at home, even in a hard hat and heels.
It looks like we have a lot to do in a month.
As president of McKissick & McKissick, she manages projects from a park in downtown Brooklyn to getting many of New York's trains to run on time.
This is actually a new yard.
Completely new.
Completely new.
Her company is on board to revamp Long Island's railroad hub, the one running underneath the home of the Brooklyn Nets.
This is a subway stop here?
In fact, McKissick Daniel's business is assigned to just about every major infrastructure improvement project financed by the city and state.
How old is this airport? 1964.
Including current construction at LaGuardia and the new Terminal 1 at JFK.
What does it take to compete in the big leagues?
It takes relationships and getting people to realize that you bring value to the table. Something unique and different. You know, our difference sometimes is our best qualifier. The
qualifier for the nation's oldest African-American owned, female-run construction management firm.
We trace our history back to 1790.
Dates back to a Tennessee slave named Moses.
Moses McKissick I was taught the trade of making bricks by his Scottish slave master.
A trade passed down to her grandfather and great-uncle.
So these are our ancestors,
who incorporated the family business in 1905.
They're the first black licensed architects in the country.
Over the next 60 years, they built homes, hospitals, and colleges.
My grandfather built the Tuskegee Air Force Base,
where black pilots trained to desegregate World War II. In 1968, McKissick Daniel's father, William, took over, laying the foundation for his 3 daughters.
We would go to work with him every Saturday, starting at 10 years old, walking construction sites, tracing documents, you know, learning about building systems early in life. And so that was all ingrained in us.
When her father suffered a stroke in 1982, her mother, Leatrice B. McKissick, a housewife, had to step in.
I don't know if my husband was going to live or die. But the next morning at 8 o'clock, I had 5 major architectural and engineering companies calling me because the message had already got out that my husband was seriously ill.
The business was that good?
Yes.
They all wanted it?
They all wanted it.
With no training in architecture, the former school teacher used good sense and her master's in psychology to find a way.
They were saying, you'll never make it, you're not an architect, you're going to run the business into the ground.
That day, she found her courage, the liquid kind.
My husband had a bar in the conference room. So I said, I'm going in this bathroom and get fortified for this crazy board meeting.
And she said, well, I tell you what, I have a legacy and I have 3 daughters and my daughters are going to take over this business.
Leatrice McKissick actually grew the business, adding to its list a $50 million complex at Howard University and the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis. By 2000, McKissick Daniel took over the helm and moved the headquarters from Nashville to New York.
This is a competitive city.
It is a competitive city.
Frank Sinatra said, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
And that was my theme song. I was so glad when Jay-Z did the remix so that I could have, you know, a new verse to add to it.
I'm the new Sinatra, and since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere.
Because that's what I would tell myself.
But breaking into the Big Apple, she says, was only made possible by affirmative action.
Before that, they weren't doing business with women or minorities?
Not really, no.
But here you are coming from a legacy of business.
It doesn't matter because people do business with people that look like them. All the work that we've done outside of New York, it didn't matter in New York.
Her work did matter to the community she served, beginning with her own. 61% of her hires are minorities, 34% women.
Our mission is beyond the bricks and mortar. Our mission is to change the lives of those communities in which we build.
With projects like the $325 million patient pavilion at Harlem Hospital Center, which ensured employment to those who live there.
We have 7,000
7,000 applicants.
walking up to our trailer looking for work.
She hired 200 and developed a job training workforce program to try to place the rest in other fields across the city.
Who are you telling this story to?
I am telling this story to women of color, that the construction industry can build wealth. The construction industry can look like them.
But it's not an easy sell, even for McKissick Daniels' own family.
So who is the sixth generation?
I have 2 daughters. My twin sister has 1 daughter, and my oldest sister has 2 daughters. Not one is showing signs of taking over the reins.
That's pressure.
I may have to hold on for the grandkids.
Love her.
She's amazing, but the legacy does not end with her. Her twin sister Daryl has a McKissick and McKissick separate company in Washington, D.C. She does more federal contracts. What's so interesting, she did the Martin Luther King. She oversaw the construction
What
of
an
that
impressive
memorial.
family, and I love that her mom, Leatrice McKissick, that moment she went to the bar by herself,
Liquid courage.
but she got it done.
She did.
All right, my royal family.
We're the Slowskis.
We like drip.
Let's stop that. I made a mistake. I said McKinsey. It's supposed to be McKissick. I caught myself when I was listening to it. That's me being dyslexic. So make the correction. Y'all know I'm not going to edit anything. I'm going to always stay authentic. And when I was doing my research about McKissick, let's see if I can find something here. Let me check the portfolio, because when I was checking, I found out they are, which is quite impressive, they are a $1 billion construction industry, and that's even more impressive to me, that they hung in there long enough to even get to that to that point in the industry is really, really hard. Some of these websites here, they can get a little bit way out of hand, and I don't know where the hell that I found it, but I definitely seen, I think this company is worth $15 billion. Truly $15 billion. And so I will leave it there because I cannot find it, but I definitely did read that. And so then I found this article here that I'm going to also put here, what they got here from Slave Labor to Thriving Business, the story history of McKissick. And so this story in here is, I like what I was reading because it gave more history, and also in this article, the sister talks about how when she had to take over, how she had to immediately fire some people, and you know they was the enemy most likely because they resent the fact that we have anything like this, and to hold on to this is amazing. Remember, they started in 1790. 1790. Just to even see anything that looked like you back then, you know, they had a painting, was truly amazing. So this article here, y'all see how quite long it is. Please read it. But one thing that like I started out before saying is that there is no way that I could leave out the Kings, who it was actually started by one, and that is a wonderful thing to have black women, even to run this. Yeah, I that is an amazing feat, because I know how we are treated in the industry, and I like that the fact that they were mindful enough to make sure that 60% of us is hired on these job sites, and that when people came to them, that they were able to spread some of our folks around on some other construction sites that they have. I never heard of them. I know a lot of black-owned construction companies, but this is the first time I heard of them, and they is the oldest black-owned female-run. I'll give the sisters the acknowledgement, but let's not cave into the enemy's deception with us and make it, like we don't have a need for our kings. We have a great need for our kings. That y'all know I'm not like about that on this channel at all. So, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.